Things change with social media, and it has also affected relationships, and dating is different too. There are apps for that. And this has an impact on how people process frustration. There are many emotional aspects, like rejection, for example. It's not the same as being rejected in the real world because there might be filters, while on the internet, it can be hurtful. Of course, there are all these new phenomena that weren't behaviors seen before. People are learning to navigate the internet and find love and intimate relationships online, which comes with some conveniences but also several new challenges. I think what we might be seeing a bit is the amplification of emotional immaturity. It's easier to casually seduce someone by flirting through messages and interacting with their social media, saying, "Let's meet up," or "Wouldn't this be a nice house for us someday?" and flirting a bit but with no intention of spending time with this person. The internet makes it more possible. The same goes for ghosting. You can be dating someone and simply say, "It's over." No communication. Delete your profile, change your number, and you can ghost them. I think these are new levels, or rather, new ways of getting hurt when dating online, and it's very confusing, and people are very tired. I see a lot of frustrated and lonely people because this has almost become. I think a client told me it's like shopping for humans. I said, "How pessimistic," but it's true. It's like a catalog where you say, "Do I want this or not? I don't like their hair." There's something that's not entirely inhumane, but the human aspect gets lost when you think, this is another human being with experiences, fears, and a soul. I think the process has depersonalized a bit, and people's fears, insecurities, and privileges are surfacing. Breadcrumbing, gaslighting. What do they represent? Breadcrumbing is giving someone just enough attention to keep them interested but nothing more. You're not looking for commitment, you're not trying to get to know them better. But it's enough to keep them interested. Typically, you do it if you're unsure, if you still don't know if you're interested in that person, or if you're dating someone but want to have a backup plan. You can have many reasons for doing this to another human being, but it's basically the process of doing the bare minimum to keep the other person from leaving. And it happens even in real relationships, not just when dating. When your partner does something wrong or stands you up, and they realize it because they do, they know that their partner is about to go crazy and scream, "Why didn't you do this? I'm disappointed, I want to break up." Just before that moment, they clean the house, buy flowers, or say, "We're going on vacation to Rome." And then you say, "Yes." And they keep the person interested. And yes, they may have made a romantic gesture, but it was only the minimum. They're just trying to hold on to that person, and now they've gained a couple more months. So yes, it happens in dating, but it also happens in relationships. You can find people experiencing the pressure we were talking about, frustration, insecurities. But what about those who do things unconsciously that also affect them? For example, it's obvious that ghosting hurts. But it's probably not right if you tend to ghost others. And if you feel like the internet allows you to do things you wouldn't actually do. I once saw a video, it was a parody of behaviors on dating apps that you'd never do in real life. Certainly, I think it takes away some responsibility. And people don't know where the boundaries are. We know that if I sit next to a stranger, I probably shouldn't take off my clothes. But online, the boundaries seem more ambiguous. People don't know where the limit is, and what happens with people is that we love to test them. Is this going too far? What about this? And I think depending on how self-aware you are, your sense of responsibility, and your emotional intelligence, you could take it very far. And the sad thing is that others might allow it. We're almost seeing people's wounds surface. Seeing how people who have been hurt provoke each other and perpetuate an unhealthy cycle. Not everyone does these things while dating, but you could argue that if you ghost someone, maybe you lack communication skills, self-awareness, and the responsibility to tell someone, "Hey, I'm not interested." And I know there are people who ghost to spare the other person's feelings. They think, it's too harsh. They'll get the hint. Really? But it depends on where the relationship is at. If you had a 3-month relationship and then you delete your number to avoid hurting their feelings, I think it would also be good to consider how it would feel for the other person and how you would react if it happened to you. And I don't know if we always do that.